News Talk 1340 KROC-AM. This is Broad Talk, and boy, is the studio full. So much excitement. Everyone is here that can be here.
Happy anniversary, Kelly Squall.
Oh, that's not what we needed. Right in we went. Well, ladies, welcome. Burton is here. Karen is here. Joy just arrived and realized that Renee is here.
Yay!
Renee LaFlamme.
We love Renee. Like, I can't think of one person who would not like her. She's one of those
I'm
people.
sure there are. Let's not go into
Let's
that.
not ask. Who does it? Raise your hand. But as you guys are like, oh my gosh, you're Renee, you're Joy. This is so exciting because you guys have become cyber friends.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. And so
Throw out.
I realized, why is this not stopping? Stop playing commercials. All right, whatever.
Is it on the new iPhone 6 8.01 app?
Something like that.
Which has ruined my phone.
It has?
Yeah.
Well,
did you not hear that you're not supposed to download that?
No, no one told me that.
On the news
See,
yesterday.
I'm always at the wrong place at the wrong time, but we're glad Renee's here.
Renee is here. She's here for an official reason, but it's going to be a long time before we get to that. So we'll just announce her now, and she can sit in. You've been here before from our neighbors.
Yes,
You know the
I
drill.
love hanging out with you ladies.
But when you guys hugged, and all of a sudden I realized, oh, wait a minute. 5 people in the studio. 3 of us have brain issues.
Yeah.
You guys are in the minority, Karen and Burton.
For
I'm
a
sorry
change.
for them.
Thank goodness.
And we're even because Phil Furton's mom.
Right? That's right.
We're even. No brain injuries, 3.
And 3.
And
True.
3.
Very fine.
It's tied up.
How was you just had a great realization, Joy, on your ride in today.
Okay.
You realized that there's an Elvis channel.
There's an Elvis channel on XM radio. It only, so I got to do Wise Man and Blue Hawaii songs, and I got to hear the story of why they started the na 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 na.
Oh, yeah?
na 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 na. Yeah, because my granddaughter leased a brand new car.
Oh,
I
it's
came
got
here
XM.
in just smooth style.
Well, I have to say that when you said, "Did you know the XM?" I was like, "What? Wait, no." But if it's got an Elvis channel, all right, fine.
Woohoo!
You can listen to it sometimes. Sometimes. Burton, what's going on at your house?
Oh, my goodness. It looks like a bomb went off.
I can see from the Facebook photo.
I left last night. 3 hours later, I came home, and my house there was an explosion of gear getting ready for this Boundary Waters trip that Phil and his dad and brother and nephew and 4 other non-Burtons are going on.
That's a lot of people.
It is. And so there's a lot of stuff in our living room and table and everywhere. So it's, they're doing it. We just have to step around and stuff. It was really surprising though when I walked in because it was not there when I left.
Right.
Boom. Oh, my goodness.
It looks like the weather will be good for a trip up north.
Yes. Which I was on a trip up north last weekend.
Right. With your girlfriends. Beautiful
and I
scene.
got to participate in a northern Minnesota Finnish thing, an authentic Finnish sauna. They call it sauna, not a sauna.
Not a sauna, sauna.
And so the first time I've ever been in a sauna or a sauna in my life, and it was amazing.
Like a sweat lodge?
Yeah.
Did you come out and jump in the water when you're done?
I did not. I did not jump in lakes.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I know.
Were you naked? Were you naked? Because in the movies they're all naked. And that was good.
A towel, just a towel.
No, swimsuits.
Do they wave sage?
Huh?
Sage is
No,
blowing.
no. It was just steam.
Oh, okay.
But it was the wood stove was stoked, and this whole process and everything. The first steam that hit me, though, she's like, just breathe and, shallow breaths. And I was like, I can't breathe because it was really intense. And then after I got used to it, and we all missed the smell. I mean, there's just this, this earthy wood smell because of this, what it's made out of and the fire. And it was like the most blissful weekend I've had in I don't know how long.
Well, I'm glad that you went, but we missed you at the RBC event.
I was torn. I was missing so many things here. But I was just like, I've got to jump on this opportunity.
And that's the other update that we have to give because what's her name is not here. She can't be on the air to tell us about it. But the Rochester Better Chance Gala, the soiree last Saturday was fantastic.
I've heard great things.
Wonderful music from 37th Street Gold. And it was great because I'd say, we need to stop and talk for a little bit. And they'd be like, fine. And then the members of the band would all just sit there and wait. And then I'd go, okay, more music. And then off they'd go. Man, I felt like Guy Lombardo. It was wonderful. But all of the scholars got up and gave a very short little speech. And they raised a lot of money, I'm sure.
Oh, gosh.
And best of all, Burton, I don't know if you've heard, but I outbid Karen for the Zest basket.
I have not heard.
She did, and she gave me an evil eye. Don't even touch
Did
it.
you have Andy staking it out?
No, he wasn't there.
Oh.
He was not able to be there. So I had to take up
You're the more ruthless.
take on the Kennedys. No, well, it's Karen. In the past, it's been my son against Mr. Kennedy, against Jeff, who Jeff just loves to get into Andy's grill on this whole thing. But Karen, I could be like, I could give her I really want this basket, Karen.
That's all you had to do. That's it. You won. You had me at...
What happened to the other lady that said, this basket's mine, I tell you, mine?
I push people out of the way.
She did.
Chicken wings. Remember, we talked last week. We're fighters, you and me,
Yeah,
Burton.
that's true.
Everybody else is pacifists, but we will fight.
It's a good thing I wasn't there, Tracy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I got the Zest basket. You and I probably would have had to duke it out in the parking lot.
Man, the sponsors were amazing. I mean, there were probably 50 gift baskets.
Oh, and then at the end of the night, I don't know if you've heard this, but the CrossFit guys come over and say, we want to sponsor all of the scholars at our gym.
Nice.
So the boys can all go there and work out.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Are you kidding?
That is
Way to go,
amazing.
CrossFit. Yep. That was great. At the
We
end of
live
the
in
night,
such
they
a-
all were kind of standing around, and at the end, people start to peel away and stuff. But those people were all still there, and I said, what is going on over there? And then they came up and found Joe, and they said, we want to invite him to free memberships at CrossFit.
Nice.
Go
Such a
CrossFit.
wonderful
That's
community.
awesome.
It's so nice.
Very nice. So there's a lot going on this hour, ladies. Not only do we have a full studio, and Renee is here to talk about Oktoberfest, and she just went to her class reunion,
Oh.
which I am sad to hear. She did not get into trouble, but we'll maybe have an update.
Your 10-year class reunion?
25.
Just stick with 10. Look at you, Karen. You just confused her.
You
That doesn't-
did. You look.
25.
You're very young looking. So
I'll take it.
let's see.
That's right. We do have Rich Peterson is at Weber and Judd on South Broadway, so we'll talk to him in just a moment. But we do have to say the Victoria's Restaurante and Wine Bar would love to let you or invite you to call them for your next birthday or holiday party. You probably should be scheduling your Christmas and holiday, sometimes those get into January and February that those things happen. So give them a call, because whether you have 10 people, or maybe you're going to host your family Christmas this year and you are not going to cook on Christmas Eve, whatever, just they can handle all of those different options, and they can have 2 to 3 different pastas, or maybe one. They can bring salads, there's desserts, they can bring the dressings if you do a whole salad thing. All sorts of different options. So, Victoria's, give them a call today, 280-6232, and talk with them about how they can help you out. Rich Peterson, are you there?
I am here.
Wonderful.
Listening intently.
Tell us all about what's happening at the grand opening at Weber and Judd South Broadway. Hello? Did we lose?
We lost Rich?
He must have an iPhone.
What did I just say? Wow. What did I just say about we've never done a remote?
There we are.
Oh, there you are.
Ta-da.
You know what I did? I hit the mute.
Oh,
Yeah, don't do that.
doesn't work.
That mutes me, not you.
Tell us what's happening at Weber and Judd South Broadway.
Well, a lot happening. I got fabulous prizes there you can register for. They're giving away an iPod, a digital camera, a smart TV, also some gift bags here just for showing up. They've got some coupons that, in fact, if you want to transfer your current prescription from the pharmacist that you have now that you're not quite satisfied with, and you want Weber and Judd because now this, especially South Broadway location, is going to be much more convenient for you, there's a $25 gift certificate with the purchase of a transferred prescription. So just stop by. The grand opening is going on today and tomorrow. There's free coffee today. So it's a large store, beautiful place, and registered pharmacist Steve is coming in. Steve, you've got a lot. This is a beautiful store you've got here.
Oh, isn't it great to look at this new size, beautiful view out all these windows looking at downtown Rochester?
All right, now you get you deliver. What are some of the options that people have here for Weber and Judd or South Broadway?
Well, we have all the same services that Weber and Judd has offered for all of these years to serve the Rochester community. Of course, we have delivery for all of our prescriptions. We accept all the insurance companies as well. And we have a beautiful over-the-counter section out front here to help with any of your over-the-counter needs.
Great. All right, come on by. The grand opening, your hours are?
We're open 8 till 5, Monday through Friday, right down here at 18 on 9th Street, Southeast Rochester.
All right. The Weber and Judd, South Broadway, Tracy. You know it's a great store. We invite everybody to come on out today.
Thanks, Rich. It's 10:21 KROC-AM. Technology. This is Broad Talk. Joy is here, and Karen and Burton. And Joy, did you have an update to share?
I do. My daughter, who lives in New York, they listen to it at her work. So, hey, to my
New
best baby
Yorkers.
girl I ever had.
In Buffalo?
In Buffalo, New York.
Broad
Thank
Talk's
you.
expanding to the Eastern time zone.
It is.
Can we
Very
get
much
the pie
about.
shop on board, too, and we'll just have a little following out there.
That's a great idea. That's Brooklyn and Buffalo. Okay, and Karen, did you have an update? I kind of busted in on with the Rochester Better Chance one.
Oh, whatever you want. Like, I do have one, but do you want me to share it now?
Please
It's
do.
just a little adventure we had when we were in Texas just recently. And we did, do you guys watch the TV show, Who Do You Think You Are? It's like a genealogy. Lisa Kudrow kind of produces it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you go and you find
Very
these
cool.
stars at, ancestors. So we kind of had our own Who Do You Think You Are moment. We went back. Jeff doesn't know his dad very well. His mom decided to raise him on her own for certain reasons. Anyway, it was kind of cool because we found his line. We got to see where he was buried and where his parents are buried. And we did a little investigating. And it was kind of cool because he got to, talk to his dad a little, and not really talk to him, but nothing came back. But it was just kind of like sharing a little, hey, rest in peace kind of thing, which was really cool. And then we decided to take it a little further and find, where do you find most info? At the local cafe. Went to this
funny.
local cafe in this little town, and of course, who did they enlist to ask people if they knew? Yeah, none of them would do it. My daughter, my husband, so I was enlisted
figure.
and found some old, people that look like old timers there, and it was like. It was, first didn't work out so good, but the second one actually knew his dad and his parents and had worked with them and kind of shared a little info about his dad. So it was kind of a who do you think you are moment, family history wise, and it was such fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we also stopped by the county records office and learned how to find out deeds and things like that. Maybe we're rich. Maybe we're an inheritance, have an inheritance out there. No, not really.
Maybe. So Jeff is not the kind of guy that'll be, just overflowing with comments and emotion. But how did it make him feel to kind of find some of those things out about this maybe broken or fractured little part of his family tree?
It brought him peace, actually. It really did. He found out there were no other kids besides him, and he found out he had aunts and uncles and, this other lineage out there that, maybe perhaps one day to connect with, and that, just knowing you're not alone, that there are good things, in our families that we can find to treasure. So it kind of brought a lot of closure for him.
That's neat.
Yeah. Cool.
Does he want to explore any more, or is he just going to sit on this one for a while?
No, he'll probably sit on it. My daughter and I might do our own background.
That's the tricky part, though.
Yeah.
Very tricky, because my husband is adopted, and I, always thought, well, you hear all these stories, people go and search for their adopted families and all that. So when he and I were getting married, I thought, well, we're going to have to find his family. It's not anything he's ever wanted to do. We're going to have to find it.
Yeah.
And then we, got pregnant. I'm like, well, now we don't. We totally have to find out. And when we were going to have a baby, he was even more determined that he did not want to find anything more about his family. But it was hard for me because I always thought, well, come on, honey, let's go here.
No, Phil, that was
didn't want anything to do. And I hadn't ever thought about the reasons why not.
Right.
Because he wanted to be respectful of his birth mother. He didn't know what that situation might be. It could be bad.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what. So
Yeah.
I know that, and we've talked about that before, that you don't ever, everybody's situation is different.
Right.
And it is scary to go into a situation because you don't know the end result.
You did meet your birth family.
Yes.
You've met relatives and things. And
I spent time with them. That's where part of our trip this fall or summer was in Idaho doing a family reunion, and it was really cool for my kids to meet and see that there's people out there like me.
Funny.
And that's been good for me, too, because there's some quirky parts of my personality that no one else that I've known has. And like 4 or 5 years ago, I spent a lot of time with some aunts, and I'm just like them. I mean, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
We just laughed and goofed around and were crazy like I am.
That's
Yeah.
So when you're talking about Jeff, I mean, for me, it filled a void I didn't really realize was there to find this lineage and to get to know that.
Well, and you do, though, have to kind of sit on it for a little bit, I
Yes.
think. Like to Jeff's point, that just let it be
Yeah.
there for a while and see how that feels and let that kind of fill in where it needs to be. And
Yeah, because it's too overwhelming to try to do everything all at once.
Well, we were laughing a little bit. You act like some of your relatives. It's like funny because we looked at some deeds and things that he had signed, and my daughter Lindsay's like, "Look, his signature's just like yours."
Really?
You know? Yeah.
It's cool to make those
So,
connections.
It is.
that is funny. I love the fact that you were in charge of that whole
I know.
process.
So you kind of skipped or went over the first interaction you had, said that didn't go so well. Why did that not go so well?
Well, what would you do? Someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, how long you've been here?" Like the stranger.
Well, that's kind of
up
a
to your
weird
table.
opening line.
I think he was disappointed I wasn't picking him up. Perhaps I don't know.
Perhaps. Sure.
Karen,
Let's go with that.
It's a cross you're going to have to bear.
It is.
That's just the way it is. It's 10:29 at KROC. We need to take a break for news. We have the Mike Huckabee Minute. Andy will give us some news. We'll check back in with Rich Peterson. Remember, he is at Weber and Judd South Broadway, just right across 9th Street from Snappy Stop. That's how you can find him, so stop in and say hello to him, too. It's their grand opening, KROC-AM. This is Broad Talk on KROC. Karen, Burton, Joy, and Renee is here from Our Neighbors. Renee LaFlamme. How you doing?
I'm excited to be here.
Or as my phone likes to say, Renee LaFlamme. Every time I call you, I always think, I love it. I love to use my little earpiece to do it because Renee LaFlamme. Yes, that's who I want to talk to.
Sounds so fancy.
It does. A little bit mechanical. Our Oktoberfest is coming up
Yes,
next week.
it's Friday the 3rd.
And this will be the third time that we have done this.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Because it used to be the luau, and there's always some sort of yearly marking of let's celebrate what the neighborhoods in this city do.
And when we originally created it, we thought fall was a really great time because there wasn't a whole lot of other benefits going on, and now there's a billion different benefits all the time. So I guess we just got to plunge in there and do the best we can.
Well, changing it up to the Oktoberfest made it kind of fun because you can play off the German theme. The food is so good. This is held out at the Ramada, and I don't know, the chef out there is great, but what do you have on the docket for food this year?
Oh, the same stuff as last year.
Oh,
'Cause
good.
we got such rave reviews about the food, we didn't change it at all.
And so what are they serving?
Let's see. Now you're going to put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Different sausages, of
Right.
course, and pretzel rolls, which
With
we
that
had
mustard.
rave reviews about.
Very
My
good.
mouth was totally watering.
Some kind of potato pancakey type of thing, which is delicious. And the desserts are to die for. German chocolate cake. And apple strudel.
Yum.
Excellent. But I think the most fun, I mean, it really is just get together, everybody, have some fun. There's one of the best silent auctions, small amount of items, but excellent things that you really want. So how do you decide what to bid on? Probably you shouldn't. You should just bid on everything.
We try to focus on the beer and the tree theme. And so things have some type of tie-in to that. So we have a lot of handcrafted wood items that our board members have created. Mm-hmm. So Bob Nowicki created this great coat rack out of branches and sticks that looks really neat.
It was very cool.
And I've redone a couple because I love to repurpose old junk. And so I've redone this set of tray tables. And one's turquoise and one's orange and one's pink. And they're super fun colors. So we just have creative board members that do really neat things.
And what is it that Our Neighbors does? And for this event, we're recognizing the neighborhoods, but just tell us a little bit about Our Neighbors.
We provide tools for neighborhoods.
Right.
And so we have different programs like a tree planting program and a street mural program. And we started just this year the Mayor's Neighborhood Council. Mm-hmm. And so that's all the leaders in Rochester that can come together and sit at a table and share things that are successes in their neighborhoods and share things that aren't going so well. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like this collective collaboration resource type of thing.
Sure.
So we've had different speakers come in like DMC, and then the neighborhoods could give their input directly back to the DMC leaders.
You have some neighborhoods that are really strong with this, that, the Kutsky Park or the Slatter, all these different that are, I'd say, the older neighborhoods, but you're adding some newer neighborhoods into the mix. What are some of those areas?
Well, in a neighborhood that probably has been incorporated with us for 6 years is Cimarron, which people don't realize is organized.
Sure.
And they're over by Best Buy.
Yep, north of that area.
Over there. And they do really good things. They have a whole slew of neighborhood libraries, those little cute libraries
Those
that
are
you
so
see.
Cute. Yeah.
And they have a street mural that they're really active on, and they do good things over there. But then there's also some different neighborhoods that are out by the new elementary school that are organizing.
Up by Gibbs. That's right. And, when you mentioned Cimarron, I know that you said it's 6 years old. If you follow the timeline, if you've lived in this city for 6 years, you can go back to a time when things were not so good in the Cimarron neighborhood. And, well, look at that. Have you heard anything about the Cimarron neighborhood that recently? I mean, this is exactly why you want neighborhoods to get together.
Right. They get organized. They get a contact list. They determine who's going to work on what project. They develop a crime watch, and there you have it.
That's a big deal. Okay, so the best thing about Oktoberfest are the awards that you give away. And I can't, for the life of me, remember what are some of the different awards that you give away?
The Green Thumb Award. They're a way for us to recognize the really good stuff that's going on in neighborhoods. And so every year we even switch the titles up to fit who we think the people that deserve it are. And I have not told those people yet, so I will not say. But let's just say there's somebody who put a lot of effort into planting trees in her neighborhood and knocked on all of the neighborhood doors. There's a gentleman way, way back in the 90s that helped develop our highlight ordinance book that we give out.
Oh.
And that's just a little book. You can get it on our website or at the library or at the city hall. And he developed that in the 90s because he got involved with the mayors, even before it was called Our Neighbors. It was a mayor's council. And this gentleman I just met a couple of weeks ago when I gave my annual update to the city council, he came up and shook my hand and he said, I'm the one that first developed that ordinance book that you use still.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's that little feel-good community part about the bigger city that Rochester is becoming and the way that all these little neighborhoods still make it happen.
Exactly.
That's a good way to put it. Okay, tickets are available. We'll talk about all that jazz. How do you get yourselves to this event? But costumes, do not have to have a costume, but a lot of people do wear costumes to this event, which is also maybe something that you want to keep in mind.
Because it's fun.
It is very fun. And it's fun to see that the different outfits that people wear, too, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Well, we don't want to disturb them with the image of Bob Nowicki and Lederhosen, because,
Well, 2 years ago, I wore an official costume that I was not comfortable in wearing, and last year I couldn't do it. So this year, maybe if I go and look at costumes with you, maybe I'll become encouraged.
And you can maybe get a
again.
skirt that's a little longer than that one was.
I could feel air on my butt cheeks.
It was a little breezy. It was a little breezy.
Too much.
You look like the Swiss Miss girl.
Oh, my gosh. I could have used a cup of cocoa. I was too chilly. It's 10:44 at KROC. We're going to talk with Rich Peterson in just a moment. But when I was at Weber and Judd, South Broadway, so I'm sitting there, getting everything all set up, and, people, we've got things to give away and all that. All of a sudden, my phone rings. It's Pat from Pat Carroll from Carroll's Corn and Carroll's Cup. And he's like, hey, Tracy, what's going on? I'm like, well, I'm actually broadcasting live. What are you doing? He's like, I've got stuff for you to talk about. So one of the things that he said, Red is going crazy there right now. So just everyone listening, if you on a regular basis stop in and say hi to Red or give him a hard time, now would be a great time to do it because he is providing just dozens and dozens of gigantic bags of popcorn for a very large medical employer in downtown Rochester right now for a thing they got going on. They said he goes in like 2 a.m. and is just popping popcorn like an insane man. So stop in and say hello to Red, first of all.
Encouragement.
Give him some encouragement. That's right. But the other thing is stop out to the Apache Mall store for Carroll's Cup because probably between the two locations, there's the Subway location and the Kaler Grand Hotel. But the second location out at Apache Mall isn't as busy as the one downtown because, of course, everybody's running around to their appointments and to work and all of that stuff. But he said, tell people to keep us in mind when they go out to the mall because we've got healthy options which of course is you want. There's all sorts of healthy options. Of course, I say, what about the Whoppers and gummies? Come on. What about the brownie bites and cookie bites? Yeah, come on.
You can do healthy, not healthy.
Chocolate syrup. That's the deal. You get to do your own thing. So you take the cup, you go over to the 6 different flavors and serve yourself as much as you'd like. You just pay what it weighs. And you can top it with all sorts of healthy options.
Well, see, they have those dividers, so you could do a healthy little section, a non-healthy section.
And it's a great place to go after a little date for your dessert. So we do that quite often.
Stop by for Carol's Cup.
Yeah.
You're so
At
romantic.
the mall.
Mm-hmm. Carol's Corn and Carol's Cup in the subway of the Kaler Grand Hotel and Carol's Cup out at Apache Mall. KROC-AM. This is Broad Talk on KROC. Renee Laflamme is here.
Is that French, by the way?
It is.
Love that name.
I just like saying her name. I think it's fun.
Renee
Laflamme. You have to say it both together.
Okay, very
it's
good.
Not just Renee Laflamme.
You guys are making me incredibly self-conscious about my name.
It's a great name. It's
Okay,
fun to say.
Oktoberfest is next Friday. Tickets are still available. I do have a pair of them to give away, so we'll do that before the hour is up here. But if you'd like to get your tickets, how can you get them?
They are $30 in advance and $35 at the door. And you can get them on our website, and that's www.rneighbors.org.
www.rneighbors.org. And will you be able to buy them at the door?
You can. They're $5 more.
Okay. The problem is that because the food and drink are so delicious and kind of specialized, we want to make sure that you have enough of it.
Exactly.
I did not see that was a problem last year because toward the end of the evening, I might have overdosed on the pretzels and mustard. I might have. There was lots of that left, and I was loving it. That's fine and dandy. Okay, anything else? Oh, and if you want, you can come in costume.
Exactly.
That's the other thing we should say. So I've got my Swiss Miss wig.
I think you should come just to see Tracy in her
Swiss Miss wig. Yeah. I get to wear it once a year. There's really no other point. I think I did break it out for Halloween a couple of years ago, too, because, well, you've got it. Do we have an official topic that we were going to talk about today, Karen?
Oh, just...
You can just say no.
Just no.
Okay. That's fine. All right.
I asked her last night, too.
But you know what? That Weber and Judd, when we went on our Rochester trolley tour, they actually showed us Mr. Weber and Mr. Judd's house. I think they were, as I recall, they were neighbors, like across from each other, and they have their original homes there. Other people live in them, and I think the story goes that the guy who wrote The Raven, who was that? The author,
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. Oh no, who's the other one? Very dark writer. Anyway, he ended up in his backyard, and wants to just he really liked one of them. So, anyway,
Rich Peterson lives over on Judd Hill, so that the Judd property there, that name is very synonymous with the city. But that is
a lot of history.
Yeah, they are locally owned, and it's the family thing that's
Right.
just in southern Minnesota. Not a gigantic chain by any means.
I love it. I just call them up, and they bring my medications right to my door.
Like the queen that you are.
I love it.
Bring it on down. Did you have any updates? Because over the weeks you have been updating us on your driving pursuits.
Oh, yeah.
What has happened over the last 7 days?
I was going to drive across a busy street, was my goal. Okay, I chickened out. But I really wanted a vanilla cone from McDonald's. So Diesel and I talked about it because it was dark out.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then Diesel and I decided we could do it. So we drove to McDonald's in the dark.
Wow.
It's only like 5 blocks, but still,
That's
it's
a big
in
deal.
the dark. And we got a vanilla ice cream cone and came home. But it was scary.
People who are longtime listeners will know that this has been a huge deal. 2 years without driving that it has been for you since that car crash.
Yeah, almost 2. Well, it's over 2.5 now.
And Renee walking along the same path, a car crash with a brain component. Both of you having the brain component. That's how you've hooked up and become cyber friends. But I have to tell you, I got to spill the beans on your whole guess who went for a drive, and Renee just...
I was so excited.
Because that's a big deal.
It's a damn big deal.
Well, and Joy, that's why it cracked me up when we're at lunch and you're just kind of like, oh, by the way.
I'm going to try.
What? Just dropped it on us.
Well, the doctor said that it'll just be a day, and I'll just like, bam. Like when I tied my shoes for the first time, like I could not tie my shoes, and all of a sudden, bam, I could just tie my shoes. So it just, like, it clicks.
Those
finally.
things just all of a sudden they back together.
Okay,
again.
but I had a traumatic experience when I got home and it was dark. There was a big old fat toad on the sidewalk to get in my house, and Diesel and I stood there for like 15 minutes because I couldn't figure out how to get around the damn toad to get into my house. And I don't know why I was thinking it was like like 5 feet,
right?
But it was just a little toad, and I just had to really think about how am I going to get it. So then finally we went over across the front lawn, and then we got up on the side to the door. But that, see how your brains are important.
Yes, they are.
And amazing.
And amazing.
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 So what's your next, what is your next step? I want to know what we can look forward to next week.
Okay. I got to cross a busy street. My goal is eventually I want to drive to Casson. So I got to cross a busy street where, right, there's traffic and I got to look both ways.
You can do it.
You've come a long way, baby.
I have.
You've been on the frontage road, so.
I have been on the front, which is like a damn speedway.
It is. It's a little crazy out there.
Slow it down, people. All right, anything else that we need to cover?
No, Renee, what milestones have you been able to accomplish? I know that you feel like good about.
I certainly didn't have as extreme of case as Joy did, but I'm still battling crowds. I have to stay on the far edges of crowds. I did a couple concerts this year, and I was excited about that. And biking, for some reason, it's just because the air is going on all around you, and the ground is moving below you, and I'm still only able to do about a mile or two at a time.
Your brain is processing a lot when that's going on.
It
and
really is.
Multitasking, I know all three of us, because then I am the least of the three, because mine is not a brain injury, mine is a nerve injury going into the brain. So my brain behaves in some ways similar to you guys, but the multitasking, when your brain has got a lot of things to do, it's interesting how it can just slow down.
Yeah, in this really busy time of work for me, because we have tree plantings next weekend, I literally, even though I'm a music junkie, I have to turn the music off constantly, because I just have way too much going on. Yeah,
I know I have a friend my relative who has MS, and her doctor told her, when you're driving, shut off the radio, because that actually is an additional channel of information that you can control. The other things that are coming are the cars that are coming at you and past you, and the speed and all of that stuff that your brain is trying to work on. And so shut off the music or whatever radio you're listening to, because that's just another channel of information that's taking up valuable brain waves.
Yep.
And I always think, whenever I talk about either of you guys, both of your brain injuries were the result of a car crash that was not that severe, which I think is the biggest piece.
Yep.
And Joy, you actually even went home because you didn't even think that there was a problem.
Right. I didn't even. I don't know how I got home after the accident. And the guy that hit me, I also remember is hugging him and telling him he needs to believe in Jesus. I don't know. That was a clue right there. I had a brain injury.
Because you were hit from behind? Was yours from behind?
I was hit from behind, and I was driving a Chrysler Town & Country minivan, and it's solid steel frame. So I took the whole impact of the accident.
And Renee, you were hit T-boned, correct?
Correct.
But also just at a stoplight, not a huge, 55-mile-an-hour crash by any means. And this is what, again, is so interesting about our brains. How is it, even just some of those smaller, there's enough of a slosh of it moving around inside your head that it can cause issues. Amazing. Well, I'm glad that you guys finally met. It's been a long time. And now we'll let them sit and chat for a little bit.
Okay.
Oktoberfest. I've got 2 tickets. Hey, brain, I remember. That's not always been the case lately. I get done, I'm like, I have these tickets I was going to give away. If you would like to go to Oktoberfest and join us, please call now at 282-1234, and we will give that pair of tickets to the third caller. And we'll look forward to seeing you in your lederhosen.
October 3rd.
That's right, next Friday. Thanks, ladies. We'll see you again next week. It is 67 degrees, cloudy today, expecting just a high of 70. But then highs in the upper 70s the rest of the weekend into next week. KROC.